You're listening to Flush Your Fat for Good with Jackie and Dr. Vicky, only on LA Talk Radio.
Well, hello again, and thank you for joining us. We had a little bit of technical difficulty, but, you know, it's the deranged show entertainment director that said the show must go on. So the show is going on.
It's going. No worries.
No worries. We're excited to have you with us.
Who are you?
My name is Jackie Paget-Baird.
And I'm Dr. Vicky Arcady.
This is Flush Your Fat for Good, lifestyle for a lifetime, actually health by design, not by default. This is not a diet. This is a way of life, and we are very excited to share this with everyone. We have a website called flushyourfatforgood.com. We want you all to visit that and see what we have to offer you regarding how to lose your fat and never struggle again, never crave foods again, sleep deeply, think sharper, have better moods, lose fat rapidly, and it focuses on digestion, absorption, and elimination. This is like nothing you've ever seen before. And we are hoping to share this all over the world because now it's no longer obesity, it is globesity. And this is getting dangerous now. We have kids, that 12-year-olds with 41-inch waists. We have a lot of problems with our children. They're just too heavy to even do sports. We have people that have done many diets and programs that, I mean, up to 24 of them that we've been working with. Yes. And they lose, and then they gain it right back. And when they lose about 50% of their bone and muscle. And then when they gain it back, they don't gain back the bone and muscle. They gain back the fat. So it's fat back on fat. You lose your shape, and you lose the integrity of your health. So Flush Your Fat for Good, to be lean and healthy for life, is something that we're so passionate about. Yes. That's why we're doing this podcast now. We've done 4 years of conference calls, many conference calls for about 4 years every week, and talking to people, asking them questions, having them give us their results for, because they've been going through the lifestyle. We have a workbook available on our website, flushyourfat4good.com. And we do a couple of segments in this show. So now that you know who we are and what we're all about, we have a segment called Did You Know That? And that's what Dr. Vicky's going to do, because she's a researcher. And Dr. Vicky is going to tell you something that you might not know.
Yes, and with our Flush Your Fat for Good, we have 2 mandatory beverages. One is cran flush, which we will talk about in another podcast in depth. And the other is coffee. And, of course, water. We recommend water. But I'm going to talk about coffee tonight. And did you know that coffee is connected to better health and a longer life? So many people think that, they shouldn't be drinking coffee. I mean, I can remember in practice where people were very concerned with coffee and giving it up, and they were, afraid that it was going to accelerate their heart or cause heart problems or, cause their diabetes to get worse or stimulate them too much. But in my practice, I was able to allow my patients to give up commercial coffee in exchange for organic coffee.
Right.
And that's what we recommend with Flush Your Fat for Good. But I have an article here that I found that talks about at least 8 research articles and studies that were done about coffee. And, many of the people today feel like they should cut it out and, oh, no, I can't drink coffee. But a lot of the reason for that could be that they are drinking commercial coffee instead of the organic, because coffee is one of the highest pesticide-sprayed crops in the world. And in my practice, I was able to allow them to do organic coffee, and they didn't have any kinds of repercussions. Did you know that, Jackie,
Yes,
that a cup of regular coffee, the articles didn't say organic or commercial, but a cup of regular coffee on the average has 95 milligrams of caffeine. The espresso, which is, majorly roasted, that's the difference. Regular coffee is medium roast, and then you have espresso, which is the maximum roasted coffee. Do you know how many milligrams of caffeine are in there?
How many?
45 to 75 milligrams per cup. So we recommend that anybody who has sensitivity to the caffeine at all, they feel it, like myself. I do the dark roast because it has less caffeine.
Right.
Makes total sense. Now, many of the heavy drinkers of coffee around the world tell you that you shouldn't take more than 400 milligrams of caffeine per day because it may cause insomnia, restless, fast heartbeat. But most of the research that has been done tells us that we are likely to become healthier in all these areas if we drink coffee. But we recommend 1 to 3 cups a day. I mean, that's going to be less than 400 anyways.
Yeah.
So, but you're going to be less likely to suffer from certain illnesses if you drink coffee. Okay, here's one study. Liver health. 9 studies found that drinking more coffee is associated with lower risk of cirrhosis. So if you're a big league drinker out there, or you have been diagnosed with NASH, which we talked about last week, non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, which comes with obesity. Drinking 1 cup of coffee per day was shown to link to 22% reduced risk for cirrhosis.
Wow.
And 2 cups a day were associated with 43% reduced risk. 3 cups a day associated with 57% reduced risk. And 4 cups a day, which I sometimes do, is 65% reduced risk. And this is coming from the Alimentary Pharmacology and Therapeutics study. Heart disease. Many people are afraid of their coffee affecting their heart. A review of more than 200 studies, people, found that, newbies, people who drank 3 or 4 cups of coffee per day were 19% less likely to die from cardiovascular disease. And I also saw a study that is not listed in this article that it helps with arrhythmia. How do you like that? I mean, that is something that anybody with arrhythmia, that your doctor tells you you can't drink coffee today.
Right.
So like everything else, more studies get done. There's a lot being done on the subject, and people demand more studies, and you start to get different results and better results. Okay, type 2 diabetes. One large review of studies found every additional cup of coffee a person drinks per day was correlated with 7% reduced risk for developing type 2 diabetes. Cancer. One review found that heavy coffee drinkers who had at least 3 cups a day, like me, had an 18% reduced risk for cancer. And another review found that at least 1 cup per day was associated with 15% reduced risk for liver cancer and an 8% reduced for endometrial cancer. Okay, some data indicates that coffee drinkers may be less likely to suffer from oral, pharyngeal, or throat cancer and advanced prostate cancer.
Wow.
So Alzheimer and disease and dementia.
Right.
Oh, that last information on cancer was from the European Journal of Cancer Prevention. It's a journal. Alzheimer's disease and dementia. An meta-analysis of studies about coffee intake and brain health calculated that regular coffee drinkers were approximately 16% less likely to suffer from Alzheimer's, dementia, or cognitive decline.
Yeah.
And let's see, smaller studies suggest drinking coffee can lead to even bigger reductions in one's risk for Alzheimer's as well. This is the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease, European Journal of Neurology.
Wow.
So these are serious.
Yeah.
Depression, one large study, more than 50,000 women, showed that drinking at least 1 cup of coffee each week was associated with 15% reduced risk for depression.
Give me a cup.
Drinking 2 or 3 cups per day was associated with 20% reduced risk. And another study that looked at more than 100,000 men and women found that coffee drinkers were 45% less likely to die from suicide.
What?
Yes, this is from Journal of American Medical Association Internal Medicine, the World Journal of Biological Psychiatry. Now this is good. Overall mortality, a large study of more than 500,000 European people found that in a 16-year period, I heard about this on the radio the other day, men who drank 3 or more cups per day were 12% less likely to die, and women who did the same were 7% less likely to die. Other studies agree. And let's see, studies indicate that even people who drink lots of coffee see these benefits that, those that can't process well genetically, they're able to benefit from coffee. And a study published in the August issue of the Journal of American Medical Association Internal Medicine found that the 500,000 people in the UK for 10 years found that those who drank 2 to 5 cups of coffee a day were 12% likely to die. So they're still alive. They're never going to die.
Crazy.
Than non-coffee drinkers. People who drank 6 to 7 cups were 16% less likely to die, and people who drank 8 or more cups were about 14% less likely to die. That's 8 cups. That blows the 400 milligram theory, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that study also confirmed that people whose genetics, like I said, are slow to process caffeine still get the same results.
All right. So now it's really important that.
There you have it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Caller.
Okay, we're gonna take calls in just a few minutes.
Okay.
We ask for you to drink. It's recommended in our lifestyle 1 to 3 cups of organic coffee, as Dr. Vicky was just talking about. The dark roast is if you don't want the jitters. The medium roast is if you don't mind, the jolt you get. I can't have coffee after 2 p.m. or I am vacuuming at 3 a.m.
She drinks the high test, the medium roast.
I can't.
I drink the dark roast, which is less.
She can do an espresso and go to bed right then.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Well,
but 1 to 3 cups of coffee and flush your fat for good, as you can see. That is exactly the reasons why we want you to have this part of our program. So we have a couple of people we want to talk to. We were trying to work out a webcam. We weren't able to do that this time. We will have that set up next time. And we're just going to ask you to call in. We have the number up on the screen, but it is 818-570-5085. That's a good number.
That is a good number.
I like all that. Anyway, the coffee and the cran flush, and of course water, as Dr. Vicky was saying, is part of our lifestyle.
Okay, here's
and
our caller.
We got a call.
All right. Are we ready to go here?
Let's see how this works.
Hey there.
Hey.
Hey, is this Katie?
It is.
I recognize your number.
Oh, good.
Well, let me introduce you.
By now.
Thanks for your patience, oh my Lord.
We're excited to have Katie. We're going to have Katie back too on the webcam,
one of these
because
days.
it's worth really looking at her.
Yeah.
But Katie is an amazing, what we call in Flesh Your Fat for Good, buddies, okay? Everybody's a buddy. We have over 101 coaches.
She's a coach.
And she's a coach.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a Facebook page. We definitely want you guys to request to go into our Flesh Your Fat for Good buddies Facebook page, request to be a member in our page. Katie is one of the coaches, but Katie, I want you to give us a little rundown of how this all happened to you up until you became a coach.
Great. Well, I was sitting with my mom one day and I said, Mom, I feel like an 83-year-old woman. My body hurts all the time. I have 70 pounds to lose and I'm absolutely miserable and I don't know what to do. And she said, neither do I. And we just sat there wanting to cry. And then 3 weeks later, we were introduced to Flush Your Fat for Good, or she was. And then she showed it to me and I gave her all my excuses. I'm too unorganized. This takes so much time. I have to relearn everything. I don't have the energy. I just am not going to succeed at this. And she kept at it and she said, look at Jan Cass. Look at her age, look at her physical state, and look at how amazing she has done. And Jan was really my biggest motivator when I looked at her and I said, wow, if she at her age, in her 70s, I think.
Yes,
Jan?
Yes.
And she had over
in her 70s.
She had over 100 pounds to lose, I believe.
Yes, and I saw her pictures and I thought, okay, I'm 29, and really my excuses are thin. And 3 weeks ago I said, I feel like I'm going to die an early death if I don't do something. This is the answer. I see the proof, and if I don't at least try, then I'm never going to know if I could succeed. So I took some time to get my head together and to get my heart into it. I prayed and I said, God, give me the strength to do this. I'm surrendering my food addiction and my dependence on my emotional eating. I'm giving that to you, and I'm going to take your strength instead. And in 9 months, I never looked back. I went full force. I called my mom before I ate anything because we do the buddy system. So I was like, Mom, I did this many hours ago. What am I supposed to do next? And I made sure, because she started before I did, 3 weeks before me. I made sure I wasn't going to make a mistake by accident because I was so serious and I was so dedicated. And 9 months to the day, on my wedding day, I got to wear the most gorgeous dress of my dreams. I never thought I'd be able to wear a strapless dress
You did.
and not have it falling down. And it was just beautiful. And it actually got engaged after I started the process. And every time I go to the tailor, she would say, okay, stop losing weight now because we're going to have to take your dress in again. I said, I don't care. Take my dress in again. I'll pay whatever we need to pay. I ordered a size 6. I ended up needing a size 2.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I never had seen myself below 155 pounds. So I never knew what my body could look like. I'm only 5'3", so I spent the majority of my life from about probably 14 years old and on at about 170 to 185 pounds.
Wow.
And so I went full force, and 5 months after, I moved into phase 2, which is our how we sustain our fat loss and our health. I found out I was pregnant, and I only gained about 25 pounds through my pregnancy. And I don't remember exactly, but I'd say 7-8 months after I gave birth, I was back to my 123 pounds pre-pregnancy weight, and coped with it so much better than I ever could before. I had no energy, so much fatigue. I had illnesses, major illnesses come up every year, and it was like almost to the month, but it would be different things. I had mono. I had Bell's palsy. I had, what else did I have? Strep, probably. I don't know. All kinds of weird, crazy things would happen to my body. I have celiac disease, so I was so affected by that. And all of those things just really kept me from pursuing my goals as a musician and a performer, and wanting to, write music and get it out there. I just wasn't really doing anything. And until this lifestyle came around, and it was work. And it was difficult, but I had a goal with a plan. I no longer had just a dream, because a goal without a plan is a dream.
Right.
So I had this proven plan. I had this step by step. I had you guys for such amazing support. And that's how I was able to just, get through the difficulty, get through the work.
Now, is it safe to say you will never go back to the old way of eating?
I would probably die within 3 weeks if I ever went back to how I used to eat. I get sick so easily because of my celiac, I think. Mm-hmm. I've always had a really delicate immune system, and if I go off track, for example, it was 9 months to the day on my wedding day, and I moved into phase 2, and I had dropped almost 70 pounds of fat and had a lean, strong body. I hadn't been sick the entire time I was on phase 1. And then on my honeymoon, I was like, oh, I'm going to make, homemade pancakes and, things that had sugar. It was still food combining, but I was starting to ingest sugar that I hadn't had in my body for 9 months. And I ended up with 2 kidney stones and probably also a kidney infection in the middle of my honeymoon.
Oh, no.
because of 1 week of incorrect diet.
Well,
this
makes you a great coach, because you've had these experiences, and when you have some of your buddies that are taking you on as a coach, and they say, look, I want to get ready, I want to get, married, and then you now are being able to say, okay, but on your honeymoon,
don't do this.
Well, listen.
Exactly.
You're such an inspiration to everybody, and we're just so proud to have you with us. You, just like Jen Cass was an inspiration to you.
Yes.
And, if you guys go to the before and afters on our Flesh Your Fat for Good website page, site, you can go to the before and afters and look at Jen Cass. And she did something for so many people, because she said if it could help one person to change their lives for the better, for good, then it's okay to be showing herself in an embarrassing way to her, because she was in her pajamas. And she's changed many lives, but one of the most important lives that she's changed is Katie. Katie, we have another call coming in. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for being so patient, too.
And we're going to get you on the
You're
webcam
welcome.
next. Thank you,
Thank
honey.
you, honey.
All right, who's our
Thank
next caller?
you.
You're welcome. Okay. Hello.
Hello,
Who's this, please? Welcome to the call.
this is Norma.
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 Yay.
When you guys go to
Thank
the
you.
before and afters, look at Norma. Norma, thank you so much, and thanks for your patience. Again, you're one of them that we want on the webcam as well, because just to look at
Amazing.
you from where you came from and what you look like now, I really can't sometimes recognize you. But
I know, you look so different now.
we have a short period of time right here. Just give us the Reader's Digest version of what happened to you and where you're at right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, similar to Katie, but not with all the health issues. I just was very overweight and just kind of yo-yoed since high school. I wasn't very... I played softball and did sports, but I wasn't very active other than that. And so, I would prefer to be, watching movies and whatever. So it's just kind of very sedentary and just eating whatever I wanted to. And so I just, over time, just kind of kept gaining. And I would try this diet and that diet and would lose a little bit. And there was a point in time where I lost 50 pounds. But it was just such a difficult diet to keep up with, so I ended up going on a business trip, and I stopped the diet, and I gained it all back and then some.
Oh, that's horrible.
My heaviest.
Tell us how old you are first. How old are you, Norma?
Oh, I'm 29.
Okay, so you did all of this and you lost 50 pounds before you were 29?
Yeah, that was around maybe like 24, 25. That age.
Okay.
So at my heaviest, before I started Flush Your Fat for Good, I was 280 pounds.
Wow.
Feeling miserable, tired all the time. I'm similar to Katie. I'm 29. I shouldn't be feeling like I'm,
80.
I'm like can't do anything.
Right.
I get winded going up the stairs. I am, just like I want to be playing with my friends' kids and not, and be able to get on the floor with them. And, being on the floor was uncomfortable and all that stuff. So and doing things, exercise and playing sports was just a task and just hard. So I needed to do something. And so that had been, my friend Janet had introduced me to this before, and I was like, no, I wasn't ready. And then I had met her again, and she had shared on Facebook, and I had seen her journey of her health journey, and I was intrigued, and I had been, at the first time she approached me, I was doing the one diet that I had lost 50 pounds on. And then the second time she approached me was when after I gained it all back, and I was just at a point where I needed something I could sustain for a lifetime.
How long did it take you to lose that 50 pounds?
It took me about a year.
Wow.
And the same year on this lifestyle, I lost 90.
Right, exactly.
And so, but I also, as you guys will probably share later on, it was a different kind of loss. So my losing 50 pounds, I didn't look as lean as I looked losing the same amount on this lifestyle.
Right.
And so it's been amazing as far as I just feel so much leaner and I feel stronger. And it's so easy to follow it's just changing your mindset, but it's so easy to follow. Once you know the simple rules, it takes some getting used to, but then it's just like, oh, okay, just look at the clock. Okay, what are my options? I have lots of options open to me.
Right, and it's not difficult. It's different, but it's just a matter of getting used to. So what size were you in, and what size are you now?
I was a 2XL, size 2022 pant size, and now I am a small medium and size 8-10, depending on the cut of the pants.
So I'll ask you, that's amazing. I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Katie, and that is, do you see yourself going, you know how we always call it the FYF for good bridge? If you cross over that bridge into the land of never yo-yoing, never doing this lose 50 pounds and gain it back, you have 3 different sets of clothes in your closet, all in the color gray and black. That's a word that that was the world. That's the world everybody lives in.
And long tops.
Like, oh my God, the holidays are coming up. I have to lose a certain amount of weight. And then after that, they know January 1st is their New Year's resolution.
Right.
Now everything I gained, I have to take it off. So, Norma, you're 29 years old. There's people that we've met, they're 87 years old. They're in walkers, and they've already lost 70 pounds. They say they wish they knew about this 30 years ago. Are you ever going to go back to where you were?
No.
You want to think about that?
Definitely not.
No.
I've been since being without sugar. There was a time where I bought the wrong kind of soy milk, and so I realized sugar makes me depressed. So even though I could probably eat right and learn to eat sugar right, I don't even want to introduce sugar back in, because I know it messes with my hormones. It makes me depressed. So I'm like, all this time, all my life, I've been eating sugar, and I didn't realize that all these things I thought were normal things were actually, it's not normal. It's because of our diet.
Don't you find sugar in everything?
Yes.
Sugar, you have to read everything, right?
Yes.
So I'm just like you, because you can be a sugarholic. We have many sugarholics we work with. Sugar's like cocaine on the brain. And if you just trigger that addiction, you're right. It's not only that it makes you want to crave it more, but it puts you into a horrible mindset and a mood. And then it starts instigating an insulin response where you start putting fat on, and then there's a pound, then there's another pound. Then, even though in Flush Your Fat for Good it's about inches, not pounds, but in the long run, it all starts piling on, because if you even introduce sugar back into your life, once you're off of it, you feel miserable.
Yes, it's not good. Norma, I wanted to ask you, you said that it's easy to follow and it's so easy. Do you feel a sense of freedom with this? Do you feel like you know the game of how to keep the weight off, how to live the rest of your life
like
lean and
blueprint.
healthy? Do you feel like you have the blueprint, and I see that you're running 10Ks or 5Ks now. You're like a free bird, free spirit running through the forest, the trees.
Yeah.
So
You did a marathon, right? You just did a marathon?
A half marathon, yeah.
Half marathon.
yes, okay.
Yeah.
So I mean that's something, and what we've heard from people and what I experienced myself is a sense of freedom. It's like, oh my gosh, I finally learned how this eating situation works. I don't have to worry about waking up in the morning, oh my God, what am I going to eat? Okay, if I eat, I'm going to go out to dinner tonight. So if I eat this, if I eat that chocolate cake, I can have that because I'll just starve all day and go out to dinner.
Right.
Or maybe I should have, or maybe I should have a bowl of cereal that at least, I can have milk in there and it's a little protein, and that shouldn't be too bad. Or
But people don't know the rules.
they don't know the rules,
don't know
and
the
you're
rules.
guessing constantly.
So Flush Your Fat for Good gives you the rules.
Well, what about you? Do you feel like you're free?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't have to think about it, and I just eat. I'm very much a routine-oriented person, so I eat the same thing every day. I know not everybody likes to do that, but there's so many. The options are limitless. Protein and veggies. Limited combinations.
Yes.
I mean, all kinds of non-starchy vegetables and protein.
And you like your fruit?
and-
I bet you like your fruit.
Oh, I love my fruit.
Yeah.
I eat lots of fruit, sometimes 3 times a day.
Yeah,
girl.
baby.
So.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We're going to get you on a webcam too, but for right now, thank you for your patience. Thanks for calling in and sharing with everyone. We're just so proud of you, and you're setting an example, both you girls, Katie and you, that you don't have to go into your 30s, and because what you do in your 20s reflects in your 30s, your 30s in your 40s in your 50s, and so forth. And I mean, you've just altered the course of your life into being healthy and lean for the rest of your life. And so many people don't know that, Norma. I'm pretty sure you've seen that around. People don't know what they're doing.
You can't put a price on the health benefits, the health benefits that you've received. And going, you're only 29, and, when you reach our age, it's a long time from now, decades from now. You're going to be
for yourself.
Yeah, you're a lot older than me. Anyway, you're going to be in tremendously great health. You're going to look great. You're going to look young. You're going to be fit, vital, and you're just doing yourself the biggest favor right now. What you're doing.
Anyway, we're proud of you, and thanks for calling in, Norma.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
All right.
See you in the room.
We did have another caller in, but before somebody else comes in, because we just have a short period of time right now, when you go to Flush Your Fat for Good and you'll go into the storefront, you're going to be able to see this is our workbook. We actually wrote a book that is going to be on the shelves after the first of the year, and it's published. We got a New York publisher on this thing. And we're excited because we want to take it around the world, and we want to help people that, just like Norma, nobody knows. Just like Katie, I'm young, I have 70 pounds on me, and I feel miserable. And no matter what diet, right? The first 3 letters in diet is die. So that's how you feel, because what diets do to you make you feel deprived. They take the nutrients away from you. You don't want prepackaged foods. If you read what's the ingredients of those foods, they're extremely unhealthy.
Yes.
I mean, you'll look good in your coffin. So this is our workbook, and it's a great explanation, day by day, what to do and why. We also have the pads, which are really cool now. This one rips off, and it's a shopping cart.
Shopping list.
Yeah.
Both
shopping
sides.
list.
You just check
Which
it off,
is amazing.
take it with you.
Yeah, I love it, because you stick it in your refrigerator and you open up the refrigerator. Oh, I need that, I need that, I need that. We also have some new charts, which are really cool. Day at a glance. So this day at a glance is going to show you how you can just follow that and
Go through your day
Yeah.
and just, eat what's on there.
low glycemic eating, which is one of our pillars. We have 8 pillars of the lifestyle, and low glycemic is one of them. And here's a chart of the low glycemic fruits and veggies. And then this is really cool, because our second pillar of Flush Your Fat for Good is food combining. Food combining is not a new hip little thing. It's been since the 1850s that the hygienists that were, observing people realized that when foods were incompatible with each other, there was digestive issues.
Yes.
And then in 1952, Dr. Herbert Shelton brought it into the world for everybody to learn about, but it wasn't adopted, unfortunately. But we have it all part of our lifestyle, because it makes a huge difference with people that have digestive issues. And the most important thing is to absorb your foods, because you want to absorb your nutrients to be sent throughout your whole body to build, repair, and maintain the integrity of your bone, blood, tissue, organs, hormones. This is a chart, very, very cool chart. Shows you foods that are compatible, foods that aren't compatible, foods that work well together, foods that don't work well together. This is a cool little chart. On the website of Flush Your Fat for Good, we have what's called a starter kit now, and you can get all of these without the GLA and CLA, which
The fat burners.
yeah, well, these are essential fatty acids, and these are amazing, because CLA is conjugated linoleic acid, and GLA is gamma-linolenic acid. This stimulates the brown fat to burn the white fat, and it actually makes your skin glow.
You're glowing.
Thank you. CLA prevents the enlargement of fat cells, breaks them up, and also utilizes it to build lean muscle mass, because in your muscles are where you burn your fat. And in our pillars from 1 to 8, our first one is nutritional ketosis, which is where you start eating a certain way to where you start living off your own fat for fuel. So the starter kit has all these charts without these, and the starter kit starter kit 1 is with these CLA and GLA and all the charts, and then starter kit 2 is all the charts without, and the book without the GLA CLA. But I'll tell you what, I can't live without these.
And you can purchase our book that will be published, and you can purchase the workbook on fleshyourfatforgood.com. And anything you purchase, you will be asked to request to join our Flush Your Fat for Good Buddies private Facebook room. And it's private. I put them in there.
Yeah, she's got a whip.
I make sure that it's safe. We want everybody to feel safe in there and bare your soul if you want to, and feel good about that, so that you can get the help you need and the support you need. It's a fabulous room.
You ask questions, you show your results, or if you have any questions about food.
Yes.
The workbook we call the Kitchen Bible. So this is just worth it alone to find out what this is all about. And we're going to be doing another podcast next week.
And we have our Power 100 Heroes call, which is Wednesday nights. And that is at 6:30 p.m.
6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And Coach Jennifer runs that.
Yeah, and our buddies are privy to that call for support. And Norma is one of those, and Katie. I think we're both on that call to help with their.
We want you all to join us if you want to get healthy, you want to get lean, you want to lose some fat and lose it for good, not to have it come back on. We want you to cross that FYF for good bridge and never return to the yo-yo world. We want you to stay healthy and be happy, and we look forward to seeing you. Request to be part of our Facebook page.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Okay, thanks for being so patient tonight. Good night.
Oh, she has to put on her glasses.